and the king in the English Constitution. Indian President, a constitutional head. Article 52 says that there shall be a President of India. Article 53, Clause 1 says that the executive power of the Union shall be vested in the President. Executive power of the Union shall be vested in the President. Article 53, Clause 1 says that. Article 74, Clause 1 says that there shall be a Council of Ministers with the Prime Minister at the head to aid and advise the President. Article 74, Clause 1 says what? There shall be a Council of Ministers with the Prime Minister at the head to aid and advise the President. Article 74, Clause 2 says that the question whether any advice was given by the Council of Ministers shall not be questioned in any court of law. Article 74, Clause 2 says that question whether any advice was given by the Council of Ministers shall not be questioned in any court of law. Article 75 provides that Prime Minister shall be appointed by President and other ministers shall be appointed by President on the advice of the Prime Minister. Article 75 says about Prime Minister shall be appointed by President and other ministers shall be appointed by President on the advice of the Prime Minister. The minister shall hold office during the pleasure of the President. Minister shall hold office during the pleasure of the President. The purely liberal interpretation of these provisions conveys the impression that the President, if so desires, can become a dictator. But this interpretation is not in tune with the spirit of the Constitution. In a parliamentary form of constitution, the head of the state, the president, is mere titular head and real powers are in Council of Ministers. The Supreme Court of India has also consistently taken the view that the power of the president and the governor under the Indian Constitution are similar to the power of the crown under the British Constitution. Thus, it is clear from the various decisions of the Supreme Court that President is merely a ceremonial head and the real power lies in the Council of Ministers. See Ram Javaya versus State of Punjab, AIR 1955, Supreme Court 544. Yuan Rao versus Indira Gandhi, AIR 1971, Supreme Court 1002. Shamsher Singh versus State of Punjab, AIR 1974, Supreme Court 2192. Messrs. Bishambar Dayal Chandra Mohan versus State of Uttar Pradesh, AIR 1982, Supreme Court 33. Constitution 42nd Amendment Act 1976 has now removed all doubts about the position of the President to a greater extent. It has amended Article 74. 42nd Amendment Act 1976 also amended Article 74, which makes it obligatory for the President to act in accordance with the advice given by the Council of Ministers. That means President has to act upon the advice of the Council of Ministers. The Council of Ministers have real executive power. Enjoys real executive power. Who enjoys real executive power? Council of Ministers headed by Prime Minister. But in the Constitution 44th Amendment Act 1978 has inserted a proviso to clause 1 of the Article 74, according to which the President may require the Council of Ministers to reconsider such advice, either generally or otherwise. The President shall act in accordance with such reconsidered advice. So this amendment, though vests the actual power in the Council of Ministers, but recognizes the essential role of the President, that he can advise and guide the government. So advisory power is also given to the President in order to aid and advise and guide the government also. The literal interpretation is not in with the spirit of the Constitution. Our parliamentary government, in this type of government, the head of the state is the President, is simply the constitutional executive head, has exercises no real power. The real power is vested to the in the Council of Ministers, who advises the President in exercise of his constitutional power. In view of the following, the position of the President is clear. And number one, the Article 75 Clause 3 says that the Council of Ministers is collectively responsible to the head of the people for executive functions. Council of Ministers collectively responsible to the head of the people for executive functions. Okay, Council of Ministers is responsible for executive functions towards the head of the House of the People. That means Lok Sabha. Now he how the council be made responsible for an act which is not performed by it but by president. Article 78 clause A says that it shall be the duty of the prime minister to communicate to the president on any matter on which a decision has been taken by a minister. So prime minister shall inform to the president that the matter any matter has been decided by minister. From the above provision, it follows that the prime minister not only gives advice to the president but also take decision which is binding on the president. Very clear about it. The president is bound by advice of the council of ministers even after dissolution of the house of the people. President is bound to the advice of the council of ministers even after house of the people is dissolved. Even after the dissolution of the house, council of ministers remain in office and advise the president in exercise of his powers. Any exercise of power by the president under such circumstances will be unconstitutional in the view of the Article 74 Clause 1 of the Constitution. UN Rao versus Indira Gandhi, AIR 1971, SC 1002. Hi, welcome everyone. President of America. The American president is the real executive chief. He is directly responsible to the people of his country. He is not answerable to the Congress. He is irremovable by the legislature. He holds his office for a term of 4 years. During the term of his office, he cannot be compelled to resign, although he become wholly incompetent to discharge his executive function. Despite his incompetency, he cannot be removed. The minister of the executive department are appointed by the President of America himself and are responsible to him. Article 2, Section 1 of the American Constitution says that the executive power shall be vested to the President of the United States of America. It is obvious that the Section 1 merely confers the executive power on the President. The executive power of the president are not specifically mentioned in the Constitution. However, despite the decision of the steel seizure case 1952 343 US 579, it has been repeatedly held that this section does not give the president power that he has never been defined nor can ever be defined, since its scope depends largely upon circumstances. President can number A, issue proclamation of neutrality, number B, remove executive official from office, number C, take emergency action to protect the country, number D, make executive arrangement with foreign countries, although such powers are not specially granted to him by the Constitution. King of England. The King of England is titular head of state. His office is hereditary. He is supreme commander of armed forces, head of executive. All laws are passed with his consent. He exercises his function and prerogative powers on the advice of the Council of Ministers. He appoints judges, grants pardons, treaties are made in his name. So that's all about this video. If you find it useful, like and subscribe my YouTube channel for more such educational